Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Clutch Report with Shivas and Kadak. Today we have a special guest and friend of the podcast, Bharath. Kadak, do you want to give us a little introduction?
Everybody meet Mr. Bharath. He's a former tennis player, played in India and internationally. He's coached in China, coached in Australia, and he's coached in an NCAA Division One college team. Welcome to the Clutch Report, Mr. Bharath. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really happy to be here in the pod finally. Rohit and Shiv, thanks for having me over. I'm excited to get this started.
Shiv, I'm already getting a little scared here, Shiv. I get like a Roger Federer Nadal vibe here.
I'm not that. I'm way more like chill than Roger.
He's going to put a check on all our tennis opinions and give us the real expert opinion.
Not
like
not
us.
that big an expert, but whatever I feel like I wanna talk about tennis. It's good to have something to talk about, and tennis, especially now the U.S. Open is going on. It's a good season to talk about tennis.
I think before we even jump into the US Open, I'm just going to get right into the things.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in India right now, and if you can just shed some light on how the tennis circuit is in India. Obviously, we both are avid followers of tennis, and it's just sad that we don't see many players coming in from India to represent India in the big stage. So, just your thoughts on what's missing and what's in store in the tennis circuit for India.
Yeah, dude, in tennis is super complicated in India because we have the national body, which is the AITA, and then we have the state associations, which are tennis for Tamil Nadu is the TNTA, and then there's KSLTA, and then there's APTA or whatever. And everyone has to work along together to make one player come out to a Grand Slam level. And right now, there are a lot of conflict between the state associations and the national associations and north and south and all that. So super hard. Everyone's trying their best for sure in terms of developing players, but it's a long way to go. We as a country, first of all, need to come together and have a national program, which we don't have compared to what a country in Europe, like say Italy or even China from Asia has. We do not have a solid national program. We do have one, but I would say that there's levels to it. And even the state associations need to participate better with it. And, there's a lot of funding required, a lot of infrastructure required. I think India as a country, we're finally catching up. I mean, at least learning where we are going wrong for all these years in terms of our physical physical part of things like diet, physical fitness. We've always been good technically. We've always been good tactically, but I feel we have obviously not caught up, but at least learning where our deficiencies are, and we are trying to bridge the gap. It's a long way to go, though. Long way to go.
So, in terms of like producing singles players, especially, is it more like a private entity effort or is it like government backed? Like, how does it work in that sense?
Private entity till you get to a certain level. So when I was young playing tennis, it's all private. Your family supports you unless and until you are number one in the state, and then the state kind of picks you up and say 150 players are there in the junior or like say under 14 circuit, the state might sponsor two or maybe just one out of 150. And that you still have to be at a certain level, like your ranking has to show portray that in the national stage and all that. If you're anything below those 2 3 4 players, it's all private. Your family has to support you, and obviously traveling, accessories, equipment, tournament entry, blah blah blah, hotel, food, everything's on you.
Yeah, tennis, I mean, is it a very expensive sport? And the other question I had was like, I mean, compared to of course, cricket is on a different level in India, but compared to say football or the other sports in the country, is what kind of government backing do players get? And is it even close to the other sports or is the level very similar to all?
Not even close. But I know some players who got backed by the TNTA, like Tamil Nadu Tennis Association for so many years. Max they get is free coaching, which is basically free court practice at the stadium. You get maybe like a racket deal every year, like a sponsorship deal. If you maintain your ranking, say you get 4 free rackets a year or 6 free rackets a year with like a kit bag and some strings, stuff like that. And maybe once a year, they send you to Spain or Germany for 2 months to train.
Okay.
matches paid, and maybe play a couple of tournaments. But that's not enough at all compared to what kids in Europe get or America get. We're not even close to that.
And how many people do you think are you saying are getting this sort of like across the country? This basic, I mean, amenities and rackets and stuff.
So right now, Tamil Nadu Tennis has a program going on. It's called the Next Level program, and they've chosen about 6 to 8 players aged between 15 and 18. They get free practice, free coaching, free access, free equipment stuff, and all that. And out of the 8, only 2 or maybe 3 get to go abroad paid. The rest are still
Okay.
just playing in the Indian circuit, trying to get to that level, and then they get. So there's again levels to it. And there's you got to keep proving yourself on a weekly basis when a tournament starts, and it's super hard. And because India doesn't have enough tournaments, we do not have enough tournaments on a weekly basis. International tennis does not come to India. We have two times, like 2 seasons a year of 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, first 6 months we have 3 week block, and then the next 6 months we have a 3 week block. That's all we have. Compared to say Spain or France, out of 52 weeks, they have 40 weeks of tournaments.
Yeah.
We have 8 or 10 weeks of tournaments. So obviously we don't get it. We don't make enough points. We don't make enough money, and obviously we are always lacking in ranking. Like we're always chasing something. We're never like ahead of the curve. We're always
Yeah.
chasing. Yeah.
I'd like to actually come in there, but obviously, like, we've all seen the rise of, say, the next gen sports, which is pickleball and paddle. Now, how much of these two sports is a hassle for a sport like tennis? Because looking at what's happening with pickle and paddle, obviously now it's slowly becoming into a social sport. And then I see potential for pickle and paddle to go on to the next level. But do you think the occurrence or the emergence of these two sports could be like a hindrance to, just say, a kid starting to play tennis? Because if I was a tennis player and if I didn't do that great, I would potentially go down and be like, hey, listen, I could become a pickleball player or a paddle player.
Yeah. Dude, I've been hearing stories of kids as young as 10, 12, 14 starting pickleball, and it's definitely eating into the tennis revenue share or market share. They can host weekend tournaments. They can host single day tournaments. Every tennis tournament that the national tournament is a 1 week long marathon. You play one match a day. You wait till the next match. You play one match. You wait till the next match. And
Jeez.
the prize money is not the prize money you make in a week. You make the same in 2 days in pickle, or one day in pickle.
My
So
God.
obviously people are going to be like, it's easier to play pickleball. The kids would want to play, the parents especially, they make the decisions for the kids. So they're obviously like, for them, it's a hassle to stay for a week in a random hotel in Bangalore or Hyderabad and take care of expenses rather than just go for a day and come. So obviously pickle paddle, it's definitely eating into the market share of tennis. And I know the equipment is still expensive in paddle. I didn't realize that pickleball paddles and like paddle, whatever the bats, they're expensive, but they're more expensive than tennis
Wow.
rackets. Like twice the expense of a tennis racket. Tennis racket is say 15,000. A good paddle or a good pickleball paddle is a 25, 30K.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
long
I feel
term,
like paddle is very expensive. Pickle is still relatively cheaper, but to book a
yes,
paddle court in most of these places is like $2,000 for the hour, and then you're paying for the racket and the balls. It's an
yes,
expensive sport.
it is.
Maybe even more expensive than tennis because it's
Also, the thing about tennis is you got to like keep changing the strings. You got to keep changing
yeah.
the racket often because it loses power. The shoes, everything is expensive nowadays. So obviously, pickleball and paddle are little like more popular right now, especially with parents and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other thing I wanted to ask you, like in probably the last 5, 10, 15 years, we've seen maybe a handful of men's players. We Besides Sania Mirza, I don't think we've seen a single women's player. Is that generally because there's fewer women playing tennis, or is the system different for women's tennis?
I don't think it's a numbers game in terms of fewer women. A lot of girls play tennis. I personally know every tournament that happens in India, international or national, it's an equal number. It's a draw of 32 or a draw of 64, and there are 32 girls playing, 32 boys playing, or 64 boys playing, 64 girls playing. It's not about the numbers. It's about how long they carry on playing the game after a certain age. They people start dropping off after they're 16, 17, obviously due to various reasons, education, financial. Obviously, we spoke about the sponsorship stuff and just trying to keep up with changing times. So Maya's coming up really well. She's like, the big name for women's tennis in India. She's
You
training.
got to give us full name, brother, for our viewers.
Okay, Maya Rajeshwaran Revati. That's
Okay,
her
got it.
full name. She's from Coimbatore, I think, and she's been training in Spain. She's been sponsored by the Rafael Nadal Academy for the last few months. I think she has a deal with them going on, and she has a she's very lucky. She has a coach, a trainer, everything traveling with her all like 24/7 all the time. She played the US Open Junior Girls as well. She's been having some good results. Time will tell. She's still 16. She's 50 in the world in junior and 54 to be exact. And got to wait for a couple of years. Maybe
Mhm.
it's a long-term thing. By 1920, if she's still around I mean, she's definitely be around the sport, but she's still around the rankings, WTA, if she's hitting her targets, then she's got potential. I mean, also, I feel like Indian players in general peak a little later than
Okay.
Europeans did, post 22 or post 24. I have not heard of any Indian player peak super early and then never, they usually just fizzle out.
Is there
Uh,
any particular reason you think that that's happening? That they're
I think it's just
starting at 22,
genetics.
24? Okay,
I
just
think it's just
genetics.
genetics. We as Indians just develop later than Europeans and Americans and the Caucasians or yeah. So I feel like Yuki Bhambri, who's had a great run in the doubles this year, he's made the
Hmm.
semifinals. I played junior tennis with him, and he was unbelievable as a junior. India number one, all the way from 14 to 18, world junior number one, won the Australian Open Junior,
Wow.
beat Bernard Tomic in the finals, and
Wow.
Famous Bernard Tomic.
yeah, famous controversial Bernard Tomic. And once he went into the men's, they're just faster, fitter, stronger, and they just overpower you. So, and he started, I mean, and then he obviously made top 100. Then he had to reset because of injuries in singles, and he's doing well in doubles now. But we always, again, it's just about being ahead of the curve. We have to be ahead of the curve physically. It's tougher.
Yeah. I think it's going to take some time. And like you said, we'll need probably more private investment because it's not coming
Yeah.
from the state.
Couple of
Some,
companies do it. I think Lakshya Sports, I think Infosys have got into it. Lakshya Sports. Virat Kohli's sports management company, that's one.
Mhm.
He used to sponsor Sumit Nagal, I think, and a couple
Mhm.
of and was someone else. So there are a few companies. So and apparently right now there's a private investor um, investing in a group of doubles players. It's called the
Okay.
Doubles Team of India.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Not
nice.
sure if you guys have heard it. It's led by Rohan Bopanna. He's face up with like he's obviously the best doubles player still at
Mhm.
44, 45, and a private investor. So they hold training camps for all the doubles players in India, which we have like about our depth in doubles is so good right now. We have about 8 to 10 to 12 players in the top 120 in the world,
Yeah.
which is as good as what Australia, America, or anybody else has. We are as good as that. But if we can replicate something similar for the singles, that's where the big deal is.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's
that's
great to
that's
be
the
able to get
dream, man. We
doubles.
just want to see some good Indian singles players. I feel like even if we watch them round one, round two, I get excited.
I think the last time I've gotten excited for an Indian player was Sumit Nagal when he played against Roger Federer.
Roger,
Yeah, and he won a
US
set.
Open. He won the first set. He won the first set. And I was like, yo, let's go. I was so excited. It's
yeah. So apparently, I was listening to another podcast recently, and apparently, just before the match started, Sumit Nagal was getting his toe taped in the physio room, and Roger just walks in casually and says, "Yo, how's it going?" Or like he just makes a casual statement just to see who this guy is, and just be sneaky there. And Sumit was just talking about it. It's so funny to see like Roger, world number one, won so many slams, and he's still like trying to figure out who this guy is, and he's so these guys, they all are in top of their game. They all want to win, and we need to get those singles players out there. We have a few players coming up soon.
Yeah.
Now, before you go on, I'd like to also touch on that Roger Federer part where imagine Roger Federer just going into the physio room and like, let me check this guy out. Let me just try to ruffle his feathers a little bit. And that just shows how beautiful this sport is, man. Like, you can be number one for bloody 100 for 15 years. You're still so competitive, and it's just a
Yeah.
mental battle, right? And it's like that video of, Casper Ruud versus Nadal, where Nadal jumps and Nadal does his usual antics before he walks into the game, and Casper Ruud is just looking at him, and everybody knows Nadal's winning it.
And he got whooped in the final.
He got absolutely smashed. Like, when I saw that video, I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch off my TV. The game's already over.
Game's over.
But thank you. Like, I think, super enlightening with respect to just the landscape of what's going on in India, and
Yeah.
moreover, very, very great insights on what can be done and what has to be done just from a sporting perspective for the sport.
Yeah.
But I think let's quickly move
Yeah.
on to one of the next segments, which obviously, like, you being a tennis lover and obviously a coach of the beautiful game.
Yeah.
And you've obviously coached in Australia, you've coached in China, you've obviously coached in the US. Just from a coaching standpoint, what do you think India can do better? Because obviously you mentioned that there are state associations and private associations, but I just want to pick your brain with respect to coaching in general. Because when you look at players coming in outside of India, you can obviously see the difference in coaching, obviously because of the infrastructure. But I just want to touch on what's going wrong with the coaching segment in India.
Even with infrastructure, I mean, infrastructure is obviously one part of it. We definitely need more tennis courts all over the
Mhm.
country. We need more, but where I would say is with existing facilities, with existing stuff, we need more coaches to get involved in the game. Past players like me, a lot of my friends, we tend to move away from India for a while to coach,
Wow.
and we just get comfortable. We settle down abroad. We do our thing. Obviously, life goes, but we have to give back to the game for the game to develop as well. And we need more coaches. We need more coaches to be certified by the national association or international. There are certain international certifications and stuff like that. So we need coaches who have knowledge of the game, who played, and also we need more tournaments. Local. When I was a kid, I used to play maybe 2 tournaments a month, right? And these are just local tournaments. Just go pay $100, $200, play a couple of matches here or there. Right now, it's used to be called state ranking tournaments, and you get points, you get some prize money or some trophy, medal, whatever. But right now, that kind of stuff is not happening as much. It's stopped. So obviously, grassroots tennis needs to kick on, and there's this thing called ROGY, red, orange, green, yellow. That's the different type of ball that they play. So red is like a super soft ball, orange is the next level, then green, then the yellow is the normal tennis ball. So till you reach about 9, 10 years old, the yellow ball is not even shown to the kid. Okay. So
Oh.
these kids play at this red, orange, green tournaments from like 5 years old. Our kids, we don't get that exposure. So these kids abroad, they are already competing at 5 years old. So by the time they get to 12 and 15, they're tough. They know where it's okay to lose. It's when to win, when to lose, which point to play hard, which point to play like soft, how to tackle the situation. Us, we don't have that exposure. Our kids don't have these. Maybe one or two people do it, but obviously it's a very, very small pool. We want to be Grand Slam champions. We cannot choose from 20 people. We need 20,000 people to win.
Mhm.
And that's what happens in, say, countries like Australia and China and all that. These people pump in so much money for tournaments, just
Mhm.
2-day tournaments. Like, say, you play 3 matches a day, and then next day you play another 3 matches. That's 6 matches over the weekend. And 15-minute matches. It doesn't have to be like full sets. So obviously the kids are a lot more competitive once they get to 12 and 14 and wow. So then they take off. Us,
Yeah.
we're playing catch up. We need that local tournaments happening.
But I must say one thing. Shiv and I chat a lot of shit, but this is the first time we even said a word. 'Cause we're just like,
You're listening so
we're just listening to this and feel like, what the fuck is
No,
going
but
on
it's
in this sport?
fascinating, man. Like, we just don't know these things, right? We're all sitting on the outside, hoping, like, praying for, like, to get tennis stars out of India. And you feel like, bro, countries like Kazakhstan and like
Yeah.
Bublik is coming. We're getting players from all
Yeah.
these random countries, and we are 1.4 billion. Just like football, right?
Exactly.
We want a good football team. We want good tennis players, and It's just,
And
No,
you know
I feel like,
the bad thing about like the national tournaments that happen. Say you go for a tournament all the way to Delhi, you play first round main draw on Monday. Okay, you're in the main draw. Your match is on Monday. Okay, so you play first round. Say you lose, you got to come back home. You leave. You have to leave. I mean, or you stay back and waste your money, but your tournament's done. But abroad, once you go and you lose, say you go to Australia, you lose first round main draw, same thing Monday, you get put into something called a back draw, a consolation draw. So all the players who lost first round. So draw of 32, 16 players only win, 16 players lose. So all the people who lost on the first day, they play a separate tournament on their own.
wow.
Okay. So this is not just about points or money. They get match practice. So they get to play more matches. And then the eight out of that 16, eight go through again. The eight people who lose, they play again. So you definitely get to play 3 to 4 matches. Even if you lose every single match you play over the week, you still
yeah,
play 4 5 matches. And
wow,
that is still exposure for players to learn from. You learn from playing, you play, and you learn
yeah,
from mistakes. But from an Indian standpoint, you lose, go back home, tell your coach, yeah, you lost. I did this. This didn't work, this worked. And the coach says, okay, next week, let's go again. So
yeah,
you went to Delhi, you came back, you spent so much money, but you got like experience from one.
one game.
And that match could have been like a 3-setter, or it could just be 6-love, 6-love. You might play the top seed and lose. So
Wow.
it's so hard on the kid and the parent to be like, okay, again, next week I have to spend another 50K, flights, hotels, equipment, blah, 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 sort all the logistics out. It will be like, I'm so bad. Like, why am I serving? What is this forehand? What is
Yeah,
this backhand? You know, I can't hit a ball in the court. They're like, all the negative thoughts. But then if you
yeah,
go play 4 matches even if you lose every match, you might like say win a set, make some good shots, learn
mhm,
about like your strengths and weaknesses, and try to get you you get a better like understanding of the game, and that's how it
yeah.
works.
Also, more than anything else, just adding to what you're saying, I used to be a professional table tennis player. I used to play state. And then I just realized that
What do you mean by professional?
like, I used to play, I used to play for, back in the day when I was in eighth grade and ninth grade, you won't believe
Okay.
this.
I
My
didn't know this.
My coach told me that if you do homeschooling, I'll make you play for India. Now, this was when I was practicing. I used to train every day. And then I started going for state level tournaments, right? And my third state level tournament, I was in the pre-quarters, okay? Guess who I played? I played at that time, world number two, India number two, G. Satyan. You know what he did to me? He bullied me. Now, when I say bullied me, I lost 11-1, 11-1, 11-1. And he was tossing the ball up every time. And I was whacking it so hard and he was returning it with ease. I think that's when I realized that thank you for this exposure, my coach, but I'm never going to reach that level even with so much training. And I realized that, listen, this is not my forte and I left the sport. And I think your point also, like, if I'm a kid and if I'm playing only one match and I'm going back to the drawing board,
Yeah,
when will I realize that I'm not that great at that sport? So
exactly.
I'm just
Or
trying
you get
to.
better, right? I mean, the point is you don't give up. Of course, it
Mhm.
takes a lot of like support from your family. You need a lot of internal work. Tennis is like such a
Yes.
mentally draining sport also.
Such a
Oh,
mental
You can
sport.
switch
That's
on
true.
and off because you're just there alone on the court.
Yeah,
But like you need that infrastructure, you need support, financial and
exactly.
like sort of mental support. I wish
Exactly.
you continued to play. Maybe you would have one match can't
Should have.
demoralize you like this, but
you won't believe it, Shiv. I played for 2 years. So imagine I've played like more than 20 tournaments. And the only takeaway from table tennis I as a kid I got was it's okay to fucking lose. I I've become a better loser. Like I used to come back the first time I lost, I came back home crying to my mom. But
Hmm.
then I kept losing and my mom saw me laugh and my mom's like, look at this guy, he's laughing now. So it
Yeah.
became then when I won, so the highest I've gone is quarterfinals where I got 250 rupees. At that time,
That's good.
that's how they used to like pay you and you get like a certificate of appreciation. I reached the quarterfinals and again faced another India number three and he smacked 11-1, 11-2, 11-1, whatever
You've
the.
lost before the match started. You've seen that number three and you've lost.
No,
Exactly.
you won't believe this. So I won the first point and I went cho. So in TD you say cho, a lot of cho. And I was this aggressive little kid. So people around me when I said cho, they all started coming and watching me play. And then I just getting battered.
You
I
kept
would love
shouting
to see
or
some
what?
highlights.
Oh, Bro, but again, I think no one knows about this story, but if my mom's watching this, she'll be laughing because I'm a good loser now. Like I've learned how to lose, and I think just me as a person right now, I think it's taken me a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think
mature
all
playing these
individual
matches, bro.
sports that way. Tennis for me also. I used to rage on the court. I've smashed the racket, flung it out of the court, and all that. I think all individual sports teach you how to manage your rage a little bit better with
Exactly.
as you play more and more.
And
I'm
it's a
sure
good
you've
feeling
smashed
sometimes
some
to
rackets
rage
in
as
your.
well. It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
feeling to rage.
absolutely. Have you smashed a lot of rackets in your time?
I have, I have, I have. But after an age, I kind of, figured
So basically, like me.
it's pointless.
Yeah,
You rage in other ways. But once in a while, the release is great. The
yeah,
smashing,
Nah, man,
you need it.
I I agree, man. But then Shivers, let's go on to the US Open.
yeah. Let's move on from a slightly depressing topic, but hopefully
Yeah,
things improve with tennis in India.
hopefully
And
things.
I want to know sort of like your tennis heroes and like who you admired in the past and who do you see right now coming up
When
besides,
I
of
was
course,
young,
the big
it was
two.
all about, for me, Andy Roddick. He was the
Ah,
hero. For me, he was the best. I have the same, like, those Reebok visors that he had. I told my dad to get it. And I had these Babolat shoes, the blue and white, the Michelin ones. He was the best player that I've seen. Till Roger Federer came along. Then once Roger came, he was the best.
The Syrup Podcast. If you're listening to this, you have a fan here, sir.
Roddick was class. I feel like it was just because Federer came in the way. Otherwise, he would probably
Yeah,
had 3 or 4 more. Maybe
for sure,
at least
bro.
Wimbledon. Wimbledon, he was so close. So
Those
especially
empty Wimbledon
2009.
finals.
2009, he was so close. But I mean, it's Federer. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's happy with that one US Open. Whatever. But yeah, Roger Federer definitely spoiled his party a lot of times. Yeah, and I like Peyton Hewitt as well.
Oh,
He was
Australian.
was he was a really good fighter. Like he was solid. Like he knew what he was doing.
yeah, amazing player. And what about in
Yes.
today's bracket? Who do you like?
Today's bracket. I think Alcaraz has a lot of personality. Good. Sinner, his game is unbelievable. Like he's so quick with everything that he does. But personality-wise, I feel I would go with Alcaraz. And like dark horse for every tournament nowadays, I feel Jack Draper has something, but he's still not there yet physically. Like there's
He's just
something
good
to his
looking.
game. Maybe, but he lacks some, but he'll get there soon. I think Jack
Yeah.
Draper.
And
Someone
on
to
the
watch out
women's
for.
side,
Women's side, I feel Coco Gauff is good, solid game. Although she can't hit a serve in right now, she's having meltdowns. But who else is the other one? Osaka. She'll come back with really well. I think she's having a good run after having a kid, coming back, going through all that, and it's good to see her play at a high level again. Yeah, not a big fan of Stone. Like,
do you have any sort of like dark horses over the next few years that will come and challenge Alcaraz and Sinner? You feel like anyone that we should keep an eye out for?
Draper, one. Number two, I feel a lot of these guys dropped levels like Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Rublev, Casper Ruud. There were a group of guys who could have challenged, but then I don't see them. I don't see anybody challenging these two for a while, to be honest. If
So,
they stay fit, I feel like easy 15 Grand Slams each. In a few years. I would say. Yeah.
Wow. And there's this common question, like which has been asked. I've seen it on other podcasts as well. Do you feel like the level of Sinner and Alcaraz is better than the level of Fed, Nadal, Djokovic?
Oh, tough one, bro. Every generation is different, but I feel peak Roger is taking on now. He is gonna crush him, especially on Wimbledon. Wimbledon Grass, I think is done. Maybe peak Rafa beats Alcaraz as well, but I feel it's tough. It's hard to say.
okay, listen, guys, I'm sorry. Peak Rafa on clay is no touching it, guys. Please. So let's look at that clay right now. Peak Rafa is peak Rafa on clay, please.
Yeah, I
Nothing
know
else.
it's tough to like compare generations, and also
Compare.
like every generation like hits the ball harder. The
Yeah.
science behind the rackets and everything improves. But I was watching Zverev talk about this, and he just said that this generation hits the ball a lot harder. the
harder.
variety in the game has sort of gone down, I feel like. Except with Alcaraz, who's got, drop shot, he'll come to the net. But generally, everyone's just like a big baseline hitter.
Yeah, they are. And also, I don't know if you guys know, the balls have changed a little bit, the weight of the ball. So I heard
Okay.
it's become heavier. And obviously, and the rackets also they use really heavy rackets. So obviously, they're going to hit the ball hard nowadays. So because the balls are heavier, they get a lot more power through the court and with the turf and stuff. So I feel, especially with the synthetic surface, Sinner, Alcaraz, and how physical they are. I feel they are miles ahead in terms of physicality, the other people. So they're
That's
definitely hitting the ball harder. Yeah, way more, way more like, they use the gym. I'm sure they're doing like off court. I want to see what they do off court. That 1 week of Sinner training would be so cool to see.
I mean,
Yeah.
Alcaraz is playing golf. He's going to Ibiza.
He's doing some Netflix show and all he has now.
no Alcaraz is just vibes, man. Like I love the guy. Did you guys watch the round the back shot against Manarino?
Yeah, early. That was, no, not
Did he play
Manarino.
Marino? He didn't play Marino. He was open.
Dude, I just tweeted it, but anyway, we'll clip that in here. That was an outstanding game. Like I was losing my mind. I was watching it live, and I was like, "Who is this guy, man?"
Hit this crazy shot against Opelka in the first round. Right, so hands like a continental grip slice. He just slapped the ball back and Opelka, not a small guy, they're 6'8", covers the net so well and just went past him like a rocket. Like that guy can do things that it's crazy. Like not a lot of people can do what it. You're not even Sinner.
Yeah, he's a walking,
Sinner
talking
has
highlight show, Alcaraz.
yeah.
Also, wait,
And
Bharat, you used something called as a continental grip. That went above my head. Did you?
but but I think his haircut. What do you think of his haircut?
That was pretty continental.
I think the wildest grip I've ever seen is that Kachanov. He holds the racket like this or
He
something, and I'm like,
does.
how do you even play the ball like that?
Yeah, that's called a Western grip, like a fully Western grip. Not a
Yeah, I
lot of
got the
people
name
do
for it now.
that.
Bijus, if you're listening, you have a tennis coach available.
Just grips, bro.
No, but listen, I I watch tennis because I love the sport and I enjoy it. But then getting into the technicalities like Western grip and traditional grip and continental grip, I was gonna research a lot more about just the game because just gives you a lot more like understanding of the sport and
Why
how they
they
hit
do
the ball.
what, basically. When to do what, why to do what. Yeah.
I think the most basic is the continental, right? That's the most commonly
No,
used. No?
it's the semi-Western, which is used for the forehand. I mean, continental as well. I don't want to get too technical. And this
Yeah.
guy just keeps laughing. You use it for the serve mainly, the continental.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, bro, listen, there is this much knowledge. I didn't think I was ready for, but this is incredible amount of knowledge. Shiv, when I told you this, did you think that you'd have learned so much about the sport?
Oh, it's amazing. Like I'm trying to think of when I play tennis. What did I didn't know the name of it. I guess it's this. It's what my coach told me. You hold it like this. I was like, okay, sir.
Rule number 1, teach the grips.
Rule number one. No, I think, Shiv, I think when you go to the bar next time and if a girl is watching tennis, you can talk to her about your
Yeah.
three
Yeah,
Western grip.
Kachanov uses the
Oh,
Western grip, you know what I mean? That's how he
the
generates all
continental
that
grip is
top
the shake
spin.
hand grip.
Oh, it's the shake
It's
hands.
a shake hand grip. You shake
Okay.
hands with continental.
That is interesting. Also, I think let's move on. Let's go. Who do you think is going to win the US Open men's titles?
Alcaraz. I think just because he lost in the Wimbledon finals, people have short memories. He's still world number 2. I think Sinner, he's the only guy who can beat Sinner. I don't say anybody else beating Sinner if something crazy happens, and got to give him a chance. Everyone has short memories, I feel. He had one bad match against Wimbledon. I mean, not a bad match, 2 sets, I think. But then people just dismiss him saying Sinner or in the US Open as well. Got to give him that chance. I feel Alcaraz.
Yeah, I think amongst the two of us, so I'm actually a Sinner fan and I've backed Alcaraz. He's an Alcaraz fan and he's backed Sinner, strangely.
Good. Sinner, can't look past Sinner. Very pounding the ball. He's not even giving the other person a chance, bro.
Both of them, just the level they're producing, it's like it's insane. Do you sense Djokovic giving any sort of fight in the semifinal?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope at least goes for 5 sets out of this man. I mean, he's made 3 semifinals this year and 38. I mean, this is the fourth, I think, Djokovic. So that's not a bad level to be at as well. And he needs to challenge. I mean, that's what he wants to do as well. That's why he's still playing the game, to challenge these two guys. And all these other guys, they don't pick Djokovic either. So, and Djokovic keeps losing to the Sinner or Alcaraz. I think he has a good chance in the half. I feel it's a good chance.
Yeah, I feel like with Sinner, he just has some sort of mental block. Alcaraz, he's still beaten a few times, like in the Olympics last year. He beat him in the Australian Open also, I think, this year, and that forced that match. So
Yes,
that
he did.
somehow he doesn't, that sense of fear is not there. But with Sinner, like if you saw at Wimbledon, it just looked like he gave up so early on.
Yes, I think Sinner, like has these phases where it goes up and down mentally. You see him locked in and playing unbelievable tennis. Then 3 games later, he looks like like he's zoned out. He has no idea what is happening. But Sinner is like consistent with his mental approach. I feel that's the only difference. But
Are you talking about Alcaraz?
both like comparatively,
Okay.
the mental side. I feel Alcaraz's high is really high, but then he hits a low as well. But Sinner never hits a low; he's always pretty stable throughout the match. Interesting to say. I feel Djokovic, but Alcaraz though 5 cents or
Alcaraz to win easily.
Alcaraz to win. Alcaraz to win the US Open wins. For me.
Also, before we go on, Srinath, I'd also like to talk about Felix Auger-Aliassime. What a performance! His second US Open semifinal, absolutely smashing it, serving at 65% at the tournament so far. That's just right. He's come out from nowhere. That's the beauty of men's tennis, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely killed Ruminor yesterday. I thought he should have won that in straight sets.
Yep.
So, what do you think about Felix? You think
He's been missing for the last year and a half. He's gone like off the boil. Like he's dropped rankings. He's 26, 25, 25, and he was top 10, got 25. Hope he has a chance against Sinner though. Like if he beats Sinner, it's an unbelievable story. What do you guys think? I doubt it, but hope he does. He
Unbelievable
looks
story
mature.
for
That's the
sure.
main thing. Sorry,
Unbelievable story for sure, but I don't see it happening.
I don't think so. You don't think so?
No, I genuinely don't think he will win a set.
You
again?
never know. So let's
Yeah,
see. It's
he
good.
probably
It's a
needs
good
to
benchmark
serve
on him.
really well. Take the game to a tie break and then maybe get lucky on a few points. That's how
Super
I see him
athletic
winning
guy,
this game.
and
No,
Yeah,
he's the way he's hitting the ball also is very
yeah,
different. I think he's got that forehand also very well drilled so far. Even against Domino yesterday, he was painting the lines so many times, and I was like, okay, listen, this guy is definitely going to reach the semifinals. And
I think he had a coach switch as well.
yes, he had Tony Nadal removed from his.
Doing Nadal, and I think he's settled down with a new coach for a while now, and he's found his rhythm. Yeah, I hope that fights there though. I want Sinner to stop. Well, he's had
yeah.
it.
I want both to go to five so we get some good action. It's just
Exactly.
dominating. I mean, we'll get it in the final for sure, but yeah, it would be nice to get two competitive semifinals also.
Apparently, Draper put out a statement just before the US Open saying he's been training the hardest he's ever been training to challenge these guys, and then he goes and gives a walkover at the second round. Obviously, he had an arm team,
Yeah.
and Shelton as well. I thought he was a dark horse, could make the semis.
No, but again, I just think that Sinner and Alcaraz is just different level, man. Like you can't even. It's like you watch them play. They're just so consistent from round one to the final. And also, like I mentioned it in my previous pod, like Sinner had more time to sleep, more time to eat, more time to rest. Yeah, I didn't think Alcaraz will have the same time. Alcaraz hasn't dropped a bloody set,
Same.
and he's had a strong draw. He's not had like a weak draw. So it's just this is so fascinating and exciting to see
He's
both of them come back again.
played 2 different tournaments in 2 weeks, like in the same tournament. The first few rounds, they're just cruising through, and then they start playing their actual tennis from the quarterfinals onwards. I feel like first 4 rounds is just like a warm up. They're going through like they're getting their rhythm, they're getting their game patterns, they're getting their stuff ready, and then from quarterfinals on, it's game time. And that's when they switch on these two guys.
Yeah, they
Good.
have those gears that they can just go into fifth gear, sixth gear when they need to. Let's talk about the ladies. What do you think on the ladies side?
I predicted someone to Rohit a few days ago that might win it, and she's still in the draw.
Which is
Osaka.
okay. Yeah, that's
I
I
think
mean a
she's a
dark horse definitely starting when during the start
major
of the
dark
tournament.
horse. Major dark horse. I feel like she's super calm. She's smiling on court. She looks set. I mean, she had a good win against Goff. I hope you saw that match. She smashed Goff. I know she has her own problems, Goff, like with new coach, this she's having a meltdown or whatever. But I think all that was done because of Osaka's game. She played a really, really good game against Goff. She was really good.
Even
And
yesterday she beat what's her name? Mukova.
Mukova.
Shiva Mushova.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kalin
Also
Mushova.
played really well.
This oak right beside me in round 2 is giving me a call. He's like, Rohit, can you just check the odds for Osaka to win the US Open? I was like, what is he blabbering? And I've gone and checked, okay? It was 28 at that time. And then in the fourth round, he's like, can you check again? It was 11.
Oh wow.
And I was like, bro, this guy's saying something, but I don't want to listen to it. Now she's in the semifinals, man.
I feel what is
You
it?
better start listening.
now, now it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be 3 or 4 because obviously Sabalenka is there, but she's the second favorite for top.
But
I mean,
Anisimova, who beat Swiatek, is also in there.
such a good story for her. I'm so happy. I mean, after that demolition job that happened in the Wimbledon final, great win for her. Home crowd support, and I feel that'll be a good match to watch.
And
So
I mean, she played really well against Swiatek. Both are playing really well. Anisimova just played
Smash the ball.
fearlessly. It went from full nerves in that Wimbledon final to like zero nerves in this game.
Yeah. You speak about Alcaraz and Sinner hitting the ball out. Women hit the ball equally a lot more. Like you do, like it's so hard and they hit it so flat as well. It's much different from the men's because they hit it with a lot more spin, a lot more height. The men, but the women they just smack the ball fast. It's like a missile coming at you.
wow.
They generate some solid power out of them, especially
Especially
like
Sabalenka and Anisimova, right?
yeah, they're tall, they're strong, big shoulders, big women, you know, and they smack the ball. And just Sabalenka is mashing the serve, you know.
Sabalenka, don't go there. I think. I mean, so now obviously, like my pick for the US Open is out. She lost to Anisimova. It's Iga Swiatek. Your pick is Osaka. Your pick is Sabalenka.
Sabalenka, yeah, I picked Sabalenka. I just feel like she hasn't won anything all year. That hunger is there. She's just, she won this last year also. It's probably her favorite court. I think if it gets to the final, wait, she's playing who in the semi?
Pegula.
She plays Jessica Pegula.
Okay,
Another
okay.
American.
Yeah, not an easy game, but
Rematch of the final last year.
Yeah.
I feel Pegula is good. She doesn't do anything exceptional, but she does everything well. She doesn't have one thing that is like a weapon or like one standout thing that's like, oh, she's unbelievable in that. She does everything to a 8 on 10 level.
Yeah.
That's
With
what I mean.
Sabalenka, I feel like if you just get in her head, you've got a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's her weakest part, I feel, the mental part. Like that's how Goff did it in the French
Open. That's
conditions obviously played a part, but the condition is the same for both players. You can't really blame the conditions. You can't say it's too windy or too dark or too whatever. It's the same thing. So it's the mental part of it. If she stays with it, I feel she'll be fine.
But then one thing about Sabalenka's game I like is her coaches, man. I enjoy the relationship she has with everybody there. On TikTok, always doing something or the other. And so she just looks like a very fun person to root for,
100%, 100%.
She had a nice video that came out just before the US Open of her shopping and some influencer kind of video, shopping, eating, walking around the streets of New York.
Wow.
Doing a thing with her coaches, her boyfriend. So that was really cool to watch.
Yeah, boyfriend looks like a bouncer, but
No, but she's definitely very entertaining off court. But it's going to be fun. I think both semis are very intriguing. Unfortunately, awful hours, so we're going to be watching with big bags under our eyes. But we'll definitely be
Also, Yuki
entertaining.
Bhambri semifinals tonight, 1:30 a.m. doubles.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that hope he wins that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll definitely be watching Yuki Bhambri at 1:30 instead of watching the Djokovic Alcaraz game. But
no, it's tonight. Yeah, it's another night.
that's tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Joko and
Men's is
Alcaraz.
both tomorrow. Men's are both tomorrow.
Yeah, men's are both.
So it's not tonight.
No. Tonight is both women's and the double series.
Oh wow, I got that
No,
wrong, man.
So
I
you
was
can
expecting
actually
to-
watch our Indian boy Yuki. No
Yeah,
excuses.
after listening to Mr. Bharat speak, I'm not even joking. I'm gonna watch Bhambri play. I'm not joking. No, man, but yeah, but thank you so much for that. It's been
It's been a pleasure.
very very enlightening. More than anything else, I think just speaking about tennis circuit in India and just going through what you just said, it's for me, it's like a knowledge, it's a bucket of knowledge you've given me.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. And Shiv, you wanna close this off?
Yeah, same here, man. Thanks so much for coming on, giving us an insight into tennis in India and your views on
Yeah.
what's going on at the US Open. Hopefully things improve. Generally on the
Yes.
men's and women's side, we get to see a few more.
That's what we all want. Yeah.
A few more singles players for sure. Doubles
Yeah.
seems to be okay. Hopefully we get some more singles players competing. And yeah, but yeah, this has been episode 4 of the Clutch Report. Thanks again, Bharat. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share the episode.
And
See you
then
guys in the next one.
before you guys go on, hopefully, Bharat, we'll see you in some Grand Slam tournament sitting in the coach's box.
If I get back also.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. See you in the next one.
See you. Bye.